Welcome back. For today's deep dive, we're giving you the ultimate briefing for a huge Premier League fixture on New Year's Day. Liverpool versus Leeds United.
Yep. We've gone through everything, the statistical models from places like WhoScored, the tactical breakdowns from ESPN, and of course the predictions from SportsMole and the betting analysts.
And the goal here is to get beyond just, who's going to win.
Exactly. It's to unpack the tactics, the momentum, and find those tiny little variables that could swing this whole thing one way or the other.
So that when you sit down to watch this match, you know exactly what to look for, what the key moments will be. Let's start with the big picture, the momentum. Where do these two clubs stand coming into this?
Okay, so with Liverpool, the story is pretty strong. They're sitting high up the table. They're right in that fight for the top four.
And they're on a good run.
Right. A very good run. Unbeaten in their last 6 matches. And that kind of consistency, that feeling you can't be beaten, is a massive psychological factor, especially at home.
But let me push back on that a bit. This unbeaten run, are we talking about comfortable, dominant 3-0 wins? Or have they been, scraping by with late goals? Because that matters.
That's a great question, and the sources say it's a bit of a mixed bag. There have been some really professional, controlled wins in there, but there have also been moments where they've shown some vulnerability, maybe conceded first or let a team back into the game late on. So the momentum is positive, definitely, but maybe a little fragile.
Which makes that Anfield advantage even more important.
It's paramount. Historically, playing at home just lifts them, especially against a team like Leeds. It can be a huge difference maker.
Okay, so let's flip it. What about Leeds United? Their story is, it's a lot tougher.
It is. They're much lower down the table, so every single point is crucial for them. And the big red flag, really, is their away form this season. It's been a real struggle for them on the road.
But, and this is what makes this interesting, you can't just write them off, can you?
Absolutely not. And every single analyst points this out. The moment you dismiss Leeds as just another struggling team, you've made a mistake. They have this incredible fighting spirit.
Right.
They do not fold. And more importantly, tactically, they are flagged as being incredibly dangerous in those quick transition attacks. They're not coming to Anfield to sit back and defend.
They're coming to score.
They are coming to score. And we have concrete proof of this, don't we?
The last time they played.
The last time they played this season, it was a chaotic, absolutely wild 3-3 draw.
Wow.
And that wasn't a fluke. That was a clear sign that neither team could really handle the other's attack. So that result is a massive warning sign for this game. You should probably expect goals.
That 3-3 result just changes the whole complexion, doesn't it? It means that Liverpool's momentum, their unbeaten run, could mean nothing once the whistle blows.
It could be gone in an instant.
So let's get into that, the tactical battle.
Yeah.
What's the blueprint for the game going to look like?
Well, the consensus is that Liverpool will try to control the game. We're expecting them to have, upwards of 60% possession at Anfield. They'll want to pin Leeds back, dominate the middle of the park, and just create a high volume of chances.
Just wear them down.
Methodically wear them down, exactly. Their form at home suggests they can just edge out teams like this.
So if Liverpool are going to have all the ball, what's Leeds' plan? How do they even get a foothold in the game? Their strategy has to be razor sharp.
It's all about speed, pure verticality. Their primary threat is how direct they are. They want to completely bypass the midfield.
So not trying to play through the press, but over it.
Or around it. Think 3 quick passes from their own defensive third right into a shooting opportunity. They'll be looking to exploit the space that Liverpool's fullbacks leave when they push high up the pitch.
Okay, so if Liverpool makes one mistake, a bad pass in midfield,
Leeds will punish it instantly.
Can you walk me through that? I mean, which part of the pitch is most vulnerable for Liverpool when that happens?
Yeah. It's usually the gaps that open up between their central defenders. When Liverpool's midfield pushes up to press and they lose the ball, there's suddenly this huge space either side of the center backs.
And that's where Leeds will send their runners.
Immediately. And what's so interesting is that the data backs this up. Leeds have shown they can score goals away from home even when they're being completely dominated in terms of possession. They have the quality to finish those chances.
So the threat of goals at both ends feels almost inevitable.
It really does. It puts a huge amount of pressure on Liverpool's defensive concentration for the full 90 minutes. You can't switch off for a second.
So for anyone watching, the key battle isn't really the possession stat, which Liverpool will almost certainly win.
No, the key battle is what happens in the 5 seconds right after a turnover in midfield. That's the window. That's where this game will be decided.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And it leads us right into the predictions and, maybe more importantly, the variables that could flip this whole thing. So what's the consensus? What are the models saying?
The consensus is pretty clear. The strong majority of predictions favor Liverpool to win the match outright.
But what kind of win?
A narrow one. The most common scorelines you see popping up are 3-1 or 2-1 to Liverpool. So there's confidence in their attack, but also this built-in acknowledgement that they'll probably concede.
And why is that? If they're unbeaten, playing at home, dominating the ball, why isn't anyone predicting, say, a 4-0 thrashing?
It comes back to what we just talked about. It's entirely because of that Leeds counter threat, and specifically a metric that all the models are flagging, both teams to score.
Right.
The probability on that is really high, and it's directly linked to how efficient Leeds are in transition. So while Liverpool should outscore them, it's very unlikely they keep a clean sheet.
Are there any outliers? Any models that suggest something different?
There are, yeah. For full transparency, there is a small minority of statistical models that suggest a draw is more likely than the betting markets think. The idea being that if Leeds can just frustrate Liverpool long enough, they could snatch a point.
Okay, that's interesting. So that brings us to the game changers. The big what-ifs. The sources point to 3, and the first one feels especially important for a New Year's Day game.
Injuries and squad rotation, this is absolutely critical. The Christmas and New Year schedule is just brutal on the players. Fatigue is a real thing.
So if a manager decides to rotate a few key players,
The whole dynamic can shift, especially if it's one of Liverpool's main offensive players. You have to check the team news right before kickoff.
and who specifically would hurt them the most if they were missing?
The sources seem to point to one of their main creative link players, the guys who connect that midfield press to the final attack.
Yeah.
If you lose that player, your possession can become very sterile, very predictable. It makes Leeds' job a lot easier.
So variable 1 is personnel. The second one is a tactical weakness you mentioned earlier.
Liverpool's set-piece weakness. This is a big one. It's a bit strange for them, but recently the analysis shows they've really struggled to defend certain set pieces.
What kind specifically? Is it corners, free kicks?
It seems to be mainly from in-swinging deliveries. Both corners and wide free kicks that are aimed right into the heart of the 6-yard box. It creates chaos, forces quick decisions in a crowded area, and they've been really susceptible to deflections or headers in those situations.
So for Leeds, that's a direct route to goal that doesn't rely on them creating anything from open play.
Exactly. If the game is tight, one good delivery could be the difference between a 2-1 win and a 2-2 draw. It's a real exploitable flaw you need to watch for.
Okay, so we've got personnel and a specific tactical flaw. What about the human element, the third variable?
Motivation. And it's huge here because the stakes are so different, yet so high for both clubs.
So.
Well, Liverpool is driven by aspiration, the pressure to get that top 4 spot, the ambition to maybe even challenge for the title.
Right.
Leeds, on the other hand, is driven by urgency, survival, the desperate need to climb away from the bottom half of the table, two very different but equally powerful psychological forces.
The pressure to achieve versus the urgency to escape. Okay, so let's put it all together. What's the bottom line here?
The final prediction, weighing all the evidence, is still a Liverpool win. But, and it's a big but, it's highly likely to be a narrow victory, one of those 2-1 or 3-1 scorelines we talked about.
Because goals from both sides feel almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed, all because of Leeds' threat in transition. It's a game where the favorite should win, but they're going to have to work very, very hard for it.
So as we're all tuning in, give us a final checklist. What are the key things to monitor to see if the game is going to plan or if an upset is brewing?
Okay. For Liverpool, watch 2 things. First, their finishing. Are they clinical or are they wasteful? Second, how do they handle every single defensive set piece?
None for Leeds.
For Leeds, watch how quickly they launch the counter after they win the ball, and can they turn that away scoring ability into an actual goal? Those 4 things will tell you who is winning the story of the match.
Fantastic. This has been a great deep dive. We've got the context, the tactics, and the key variables to watch for.
And that just leaves us with one final thought for you to take into the game. We talked about those 2 powerful motivations at play here.
Aspiration versus urgency.
Exactly. So the question is, on New Year's Day, which of those 2 forces, the pressure of chasing a high goal like the top 4, or the sheer desperate urgency to escape danger, which one will have the bigger impact on how those players perform on the pitch?
That's a great question to keep in mind. And that's all the time we have. We'll catch you on the next one.